Cypress Financial Group presents the Retirement Roundtable Podcast with John Scallan. Get more at cypressfinancial.net. Now, let's get to the show.
Let's talk about income in retirement. And it creates a lot of anxiety for people nearing retirement. You spend 30, 40 years building up your 401k. You watch that balance grow. You feel good about it. And then retirement day arrives, and suddenly you're staring at this number on a screen thinking, now what? How does this actually become my paycheck? I want you to hear this clip from financial author Jean Chaskey, who spoke on Morningstar about this gap.
We did a great job at just banging the drum about the fact that people needed to max out, to pay themselves first, to contribute to their retirement account. What we did not do, what we're just starting to do, is to help people understand that they now have to reverse engineer the entire thing. They've got to take the money that they've accumulated and they've got to figure out how to turn it into a stream of income that's going to last as long as they do.
Reverse engineering income in retirement. John, that's got to be kind of a scary moment for a lot of adults. You hit retirement and realize, boy, nobody ever taught me this part.
Mark, we constantly talk about the different set of rules that govern the accumulation phase, right? Which is what Jean is talking about. Save, max out your contribution. And then there's this point in time when you retire, you're now moving into the distribution phase. Listen, the difference between accumulation and distribution in terms of risk is like night and day. I mean, Mark, I see fear in people's eyes when this really hits them. They walk into my office and they'll say something like, John, I've got $850,000 in my 401k. I did what I thought everything right. I maxed out for 20 years, but now I'm 64 years old. And I just don't really have a grasp on how to turn this into a retirement. Mark, here's the sad part. They think they're behind. They think they did something wrong. But the truth is, nobody taught them. The entire financial industry spent 40 years training people to save and zero time teaching them about distribution of these assets.
And that's when it can be dangerous, John, because we try to figure this out on our own. What happens when you see that?
You know, sometimes, unfortunately, this can be a disaster. Let me tell you about a couple from just a few miles from my office in Metairie that I met last year. He's got $680,000 in his 401k. Social Security brings in $3,200 a month. They need about $6,000 per month to maintain their lifestyle. So simple math, they need to pull about $2,800 per month from their 401k. This gentleman calls up his 401k provider, and you know what they tell him? Just set up automatic monthly withdrawals of $2,800 per month. We can easily sell shares, send you the money. That's it. That's the plan. But Mark, you know how this story goes. Here's what they didn't tell the client. They're going to pull out $2,800 in January when the market's up. They're going to pull out $2,800 in October when the market's down. They're going to pull $2,800 when his account is worth $750,000, and they're going to pull $2,800 when it drops to $5,500 in a correction every single month, selling shares regardless of price.
John, if I'm hearing what you're saying, he's consistently selling, sometimes at good prices, sometimes at terrible prices. This doesn't sound very beneficial for his overall plan.
No, and it gets worse. I mean, year 3, he gets hit with a big medical bill, needs an extra $15,000. So what does he do? Pulls it from the 401k. Didn't plan for the taxes, so that $15,000 withdrawal actually cost him $19,000 after taxes. Now he's really behind. Year 5, His daughter loses her job. He helps her out, pulls out another $25,000. Again, didn't think about taxes, didn't think about the long-term impact, just reacting to this life that we're all exposed to. Here he is, 71 years old. That $680,000 is down to $390,000. Now he's starting to panic because he just did the math. At this rate, he has run out of money by age 78. And his dad, by the way, lived to 91 years old.
So, John, where did this all fall apart? He had plenty of money at the beginning, and then it kind of fell apart.
Mark, here's what he didn't know, that there's a better way to take distributions. Listen, hope and automatic withdrawals, that is not a distribution strategy. Here's what nobody told him. That $680,000, it needed to be engineered in terms of his distribution. Questions that needed to be asked were like, how much can we safely pull each month and make it last for 30 years? Which accounts do we pull from to minimize taxes? Do we leave it all invested in stocks, or do we move to guaranteed income so he's got a floor that he can count on? What's the backup plan for medical emergencies? What's the backup plan for helping the kids? These aren't just nice to know questions, Mark. These are the differences between retiring at 65 and running out of money at 78, or retiring at 65 and having money left over for his estate at age 90.
A minute ago, we heard that audio clip from Jean Chatzky, and she made the comment, reverse engineer. Basically, we're talking about starting with the end goal and working backwards. Is it that simple?
I wouldn't say it's simple, but exactly that's the point. We start with the life that they want. I mean, Mark, the most common question we ask in our office is, what does a comfortable retirement look like for you? What does it look like for your spouse? Then we work backwards. We ask, where do you want to live? Then we work backwards a little bit more. If they need $6,000 a month and Social Security covers $3,200 per month, we need to generate $2,800 per month from their savings. Now, how do we do that without running out of money? Can we structure part of it as a guaranteed income so they never have to worry about the stock market? Can we be tax efficient so they're not bleeding money to the IRS unnecessarily? This is what we're built for, Mark, not helping people save. They've already done that. Helping people convert what they've saved into 20, 30 years of reliable income. That is a totally different skill set.
All right, somebody's listening this weekend. We're talking about income and retirement and 401ks. And if somebody's sitting on their 401k and they're feeling that anxiety and they're feeling like, I have no idea how to make this work as income in retirement, John, what can they do?
Just give us a call, 504-732-1001. Bring your 401k statement. Let's reverse engineer this strategy together. How much is there? How much do you need monthly? How do we structure withdrawals to minimize taxes? Should some of this become guaranteed income? How about, what is your emergency plan? Remember, these initial meetings cost nothing. No pressure, no sales pitch, just quality conversations about you and us giving you answers that can really help you move the needle for this next chapter of your life. Listen, the worst thing you can do is retire with a big 401k balance and not have a distribution plan. That's like showing up for a test that you've never studied for, except these consequences last for the rest of your life.
Great conversation this weekend here on the Retirement Roundtable, talking about income in retirement, because at the end of the day, income is the outcome that matters the most. And you just mentioned guaranteed income. Now, outside of a 401k or Social Security, it's a conversation that we've had before, John, and that is an annuity. So for somebody thinking about having that guaranteed income, can you give me the 10,000-foot view of how an annuity could benefit an overall plan?
You know, Mark, the first thing I want to say to our listeners, annuities have had a black eye, but I just need to pound the table on this one. These annuities today, they are not like the annuities of our parents and grandparents. How would you like to have a product that has guaranteed lifetime income that lasts for your entire lifetime? Let's take this a step further. How about guaranteed lifetime income for both you and your spouse for as long as you live? How about 100% downside protection? How about tax-deferred growth? How about in the event, God forbid, that you or your spouse goes into a nursing home or an assisted living facility, or even if you need care at home, that these benefits inside of an annuity get significantly greater to help you should you need long-term care as you're getting into the later stages of your retirement. These are dynamic products. Listen, annuities are not the end all. I know advisors out there who pretty much annuities is their fastball. It's their main product that they market. I'm not passing any judgment on these particular advisors, but our strategy is simple. Let's build a plan that encompasses the money you have in the market. It encompasses guaranteed income strategies like an annuity. It encompasses life insurance strategies, looking at what you have and what you need. It talks about long-term care, Medicare planning, making sure you're not paying too much for any of this. These annuity contracts can be, in the right situation, a dynamic product that ensures one major part of retirement. It ensures that you will never run out of money as long as you live, regardless of how long that is.
You said it a couple of weeks ago, John, that you're not afraid to take a little road trip to make sure that somebody has the information that they need about their retirement. You serve families all up and down the Gulf Coast.
That's absolutely true, my friend. And just to hammer the point home, as soon as you and I wrap up this show, jumping in my truck, heading out to Amite, Louisiana. Got some great clients out there. Looking forward to see them. They're probably listening to the show, and they may quiz me on the show when I walk through the door.
So will you take them some king cake as well? Or I'm sure it's a delicacy and you're part of the world and everybody can get their hands on it. But we take a little extra here and there if people aren't close enough to get the best of the best?
Mark, we have this tradition here at our firm. Listen, king cakes are showing up at our clients' homes and offices, about 2 weeks before Mardi Gras Day. So I think they've probably had their fill by now, but definitely you're on that list, and you're on the automatic reload plan for next year and beyond.
Hey, I got the baby. What does that mean? Educate me on that real quick.
It means you owe me a trip to the Bahamas.
Wait a minute, this got spun real fast.
Typically, Mark, whoever gets the baby gets to buy the next king cake.
Oh,
so
let's go.
Just throwing it out there.
All right, well, let me hang on to your credit card and king cakes for everybody. All right, reach out to John and the team, 504-732-1001, or online at cypressfinancial.net. From the homepage, you can meet the entire team from Cypress Financial. You can schedule that initial no-cost, no-obligation consultation. If you're ready to get serious, you got a great plan in your head, you just need some help putting it to paper, 504-732-1001.
Investment advisory services offered through Cypress Financial Group, a registered investment advisor firm. Registration is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Cypress Financial Group, John Scallan, Louisiana Insurance License Number 1064997. The firms are separate entities. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company and are not offered by Cypress Financial Group. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties.